Now, Donald Trump's approval ratings continue to slide after the debacle that was the Trump healthcare bill. Healthcare,
Oh,
which is actually more just like a tax cut, but anyway, and he couldn't even get that done, by the way. Now, this new poll out by Gallup has Donald Trump at his lowest point as of yet, with 36% job approval rating for the 3-day period of March 24th through the 26th. So it is a fairly recent poll. It is right after the healthcare bill failed horribly, caught on fire, slammed into a tree, something like that, and is just gone, decimated, destroyed. So now on this, look, the bill blew up spectacularly in his face. And I reported yesterday he is still really, really mad. He is steaming red hot livid about this whole thing. Now, who knew healthcare would be so difficult, Ron? Did you know?
right. Yeah, who knew it was a complicated issue?
Who
You know,
knew?
I think all Trump wants is to just have
Win?
his name on something.
He wants to win.
So, yeah, he wants to win. So it's like when you really think about it, all we need is like the right person to get in his ear about single payer. And he could be sold on that really quick because he used to sound like that when he was on the campaign trail. He was talking about universal health care not leaving anybody behind. He even acknowledged that he was splitting with other Republicans on that. We all just knew it was word salad nonsense, but nonetheless, he did have the courage to at least say it, compared to the rest of the Republicans in the clown car. So I mean, if the right person sold him on single payer, he would get behind it. He's not that bright, is what I'm saying,
Yeah,
and he would go against his party's platform completely if it just meant he would win something.
because
He's
we
that much
know
of a blank suit.
exactly. We know that he didn't read any part of this healthcare bill. He didn't know what was in it. He couldn't answer any questions about it.
Well,
He's
in
just like, oh, it's
fairness
going to be
to him,
tremendous.
it's really hard to read Paul Ryan's crayon
Scribble?
handwriting. So, in fairness to him, it would have been difficult to read.
No, I could imagine Paul Ryan just going on some weird Ayn Randian screed
Well, yeah, I
of
mean, I'm
things
sure
that
that's
are
what the
just
bill
nonsensical and utopian in nature. Because Paul Ryan is a smart guy that believes in stupid things,
I don't
like
think he's
the
that
fairy
bright.
tale that is Ayn Rand. So that's what I believe.
I don't think he's that bright of a guy. He says too many dumb things.
He says
And he
dumb
says
things
too many
because he
things
has a
that
dumb
set him up to
worldview.
really look like a moron.
No, he
Like,
says
oh, we used to fantasize about this moment when we were drinking from a keg. Remember that one?
I
Yeah.
do remember that
Don't
one.
you remember all those college parties, Jeff, when you were with your buddies and you were
No.
like, "Man, someday we're going to be able to take healthcare from a bunch of people, bro. It's going to be awesome." As
No,
you're drinking from your keg that's likely filled with root beer, Paul Ryan.
I didn't do that because I'm not a sociopath.
Well, me neither. Me
I'm just
neither.
saying.
But apparently some people did.
Apparently, some people, and primarily Paul Ryan and the guy that he was drinking beer. I'm pretty sure the guy that he was drinking beers with was like, wait, what?
Paul Ryan's a sadist, man. If you gave Paul Ryan an ant farm and a magnifying glass, we would never see him again.
That would be a good thing. Somebody
I'm
get
not,
on
I'm not
that.
saying it'd be
Somebody
bad. I'm
get
just
on
saying
that.
it's what would happen.
Yeah. So look again. This is back to Trump in here. With this whole plan. He's super mad. He's actually super mad at Paul Ryan for not getting this passed, and that's funny. There's nothing like Republican on Republican crime in the morning. I enjoy it. Makes me happy. Now, polls do go up and down for presidents. I realize that this is a 3-day poll. Let me give you an example. Obama hit a low of 38%. Now, it's funny because Donald Trump is below that. Great. But, of course, President Obama did rebound, and there's always a chance that Donald Trump could rebound a little bit. But right now, he seems to be dropping like an absolute stone. And, of course, in case you haven't forgotten, or in case you have forgotten, he's really unpopular. And he started out really unpopular, and he's going to continue to be really unpopular. Now, why is he so unpopular, Ron? What do you think? I've got some theories, but I want to hear yours.
I think that his supporters are starting to realize that they bought snake oil, I think he was never popular to begin with because he didn't win the popular vote. Everybody knows that. He is the biggest cartoon character to ever run for president, at least within the past 20, 30 years, in both of our lifetimes, at least. And the only reason he's there is because somehow the Democrats figured out a way to be
To
even
lose.
less popular
Yep.
than the biggest parody to ever run for president. So that's why he's unpopular. That's why the Democrats are even less popular. And that's why our system's completely broken, and now is the time for revolution. That's my short answer.
That's your short answer.
Yeah.
Do we even have time for the long answer? I doubt it.
No, it's your turn.
No. Okay. Well, look, you pretty much hit on most of the stuff that I was going to say anyway. The fact that his supporters are finding out that, oh, right. So it turns out that guy who said he was going to help me is actually helping the rich and helping the corporations that I don't like. Oh, that's weird. It's almost as if the things that we were saying, Ron, throughout the entire election and the primary were kind of right, or 100% right. No, it couldn't be. Couldn't be whatsoever. And also, we were right about the Democrats as well. If you put up Hillary Clinton, you're going to lose to this clown, this person who obviously lies more than I think anybody we've ever seen. But and like, do you remember seeing the story where one of the former Trump supporter, guy who would always go and play guitar and sing at his at these rallies, right? He was on CNN, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not a Trump supporter anymore. I thought he was going to help my family. It turns out he's not helping my family whatsoever." Part of me feels bad for him. And no, seriously, I got this weird thing where I feel empathy with other people that I don't agree with. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't it be great if
No,
Republicans had
it's
that?
actually, to tell you the total truth, it's not. I mean, I think the best thing to do is to not have outrage with the people that supported Trump and honestly didn't know any better. Um, but it's
Thank
also
you.
important to point out what they did. I posted something on social media. I was like, can you go into a room of 100 people, look at seven of them, and say, you don't have health care anymore? Sorry. Because if you voted for Trump, that's what you did, or that's what you tried to do. Um, I think a lot of people don't realize the cyclical effects of what they were doing when they voted for this guy that sold them snake oil. When people fall for a really big scam, it's not really productive if you victimize them. Now, what angers me more than the people that supported Trump and realized that they bought snake oil and are coming around to it, what angers me more are the people on the quote unquote left,
Yeah.
the faux progressive movement is what I call it at this point, that refuse to take any accountability for what happened, refuse to recognize that the Democrats are emperors with no clothes on, and refuse to do anything other than parrot this Red Scare McCarthy-esque Russian story that at this point is nothing more than distraction and a anecdote to avoid taking any accountability whatsoever. Those are the people I'm most mad at because I set the bar higher for those
Because
on the left, at least
and
those that claim to be on the left.
yeah, and there's a good reason to be angry at them too. Because instead of talking about these issues and actually pushing forward on progressive policies, we're stuck having a conversation about things that, well, aren't not they're not really important to the voters, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things that voters would rather you focus on. For example, I don't know, jobs. Have we talked about jobs? I thought the Republicans were supposed to be doing stuff on jobs. Instead, they tried to immediately ram through a giant $600 billion tax cut wrapped up in the guise of health reform. And now they're
Yeah.
actually going to start working on cutting corporate taxes. That's the next thing that they're going to go after. What
But
about
that's
the
the other
jobs?
thing.
Where's the
Like you're
jobs?
by parroting this Red Scare story, you're also helping out the Trump administration because you're avoiding any focus on all the horrific policies they're putting through. I mean, the healthcare thing got beat because of the people standing up, because of the
Yep.
people that went to town halls and screamed their heads off, and because of people on the far right that thought it was a bad bill because it might actually help somebody, and because of the Republicans that were sensible enough to realize, hey, 24 million people, that's a lot of voters. We probably shouldn't do this. It did not get defeated because of Democrats. Democrats did not. You know what Democrats are like these days? You know how there's like in like cartoons and shows, there's the kid that like really wants to stand up to the bully, but never does stand up to the bully until a bunch of other people stand up to the bully, and then that kid like stands beside them as if they were standing up to the bully the entire time. That's the Democratic Party.
No, well, no, the
They're the
Democratic
spineless
Party.
coward in the corner.
No, the Democratic Party isn't. They're not spineless cowards. They're just
Yes,
paid.
they are.
No, they're paid. They're paid to be that way.
You can't be both.
Well, I suppose you could. I guess. I mean, sure. They're basically what I'm saying is that they're paid to not do anything.
They're also paid to do a job. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to take the money and run, you're still a spineless coward, a corrupt spineless coward, but a
All right,
spineless
fair
coward
enough.
nonetheless.
Fair enough. But you're right. I mean, Democratic Party not doing what they're supposed to do. I said if you really want to take advantage of this healthcare thing, both politically and to get good policy, you would come out strong on single payer. And Bernie Sanders is going to introduce that in a couple of weeks. You have a couple of other Democrats that are also looking at this, but most of the mainstream Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, and I mean whoever, all the other corporate Democrats, I should say, they're not doing this. They're
Yeah,
doubling
they're
down on something that we don't have a lot of proof of yet, and there is a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of scare tactics. Actually, one of the stories that I had seen today is Dick Cheney. Right, Dick Cheney. I was going to talk about this. We're getting way off topic, but he's like, "Oh, Russia interfered in the election, meddling, act of war." When
yeah.
you're
I mean,
agreeing with Dick Cheney, you know something is wrong. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
man. Because what does Dick Cheney profit from? He profits from
War,
war. He
war.
profits from war, and now you have these people on the fake left that are beating the drums for World War III. And then, over on the right, over in Camp Trump, who knows what country is going to spike his paranoia next? And the other week it was North Korea. Who knows who's it's going to be next? I mean, we live in an era where pretty much all sides, especially on the mainstream corporate level, are beating the drums for war.
Yeah, and
That's why, like the whole, and I don't want to go too far off here. I know we're already kind of getting in a rabbit hole, but the whole Bill O'Reilly thing that happened earlier today. First of all, Bill O'Reilly said way more racist things than that. That wasn't even like that was like minor in comparison to some of the things Bill O'Reilly has said on his show in the past. You should be more outraged by the fact that if Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox News today, he'd fit like a glove on any of the other networks. Be more outraged about that than about the fact that a racist pundit said something kind of racist again.
again. That's the key word here. But back to Trump to kind of close it all out. Look, you're right when you went back and said his supporters are starting to see that he's selling snake oil. They're finally starting to see that as president, Donald Trump is doing all he can to help himself and the rich and his donors. And so it's my hope that we're going to continue to see a lot of these people really start to peel away from Donald Trump. And look, if the Democrats were smart, they would take some of these working class people, right, that believe in the economic promises of Trump and actually try to, I don't know, appeal to them with, say, populism. That would be
Oh,
smart.
now is the time. Yeah. I mean, if the Democrats fully endorse single payer health care, they would win for the next, oh, geez, probably 20 or 30 years. It'd be like a new FDR revolution.
Winning, like they would be winning so much, we would get tired of winning. There would be so much winning going on. Our heads
Right?
would spin.
But they're not going to do that, though. They don't understand the concept, or they just don't care, and it's probably a little bit of both, of a New Deal. But that is exactly what they need right now. And all around the country, more people are in favor of single payer probably than ever before. I mean, you watch those town halls with Bernie Sanders,
Yep.
where he's convincing people in the reddest of places, the most red of places, that single payer is the way to go now, and they're on board with it because they see we got a Mitt Romney light healthcare plan, but even that was such a step in a better direction compared to what we had,
You're right.
that people are realizing, yeah, we can have affordable health care, and it's not this, it's not this propaganda, socialized medicine, quote unquote, scare that we've been fed by corrupt media for so many years. People are seeing through that now, and now's the time for the Democrats to adopt a New Deal. They're not going to do it, but now's the time to do that, and we need to either force them to do it or we need to, eventually the revolution's got to come and we got to break down the two-party system because, I mean, it's broken beyond repair at this point. So you got to think short term and long term. And the long term is the Democrats either need a complete overhaul or the party's dead in the water. And either one's fine with me.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.